Hi, and welcome to our video series on using OpenGov to understand our budget format and process. In this video, we will explain how to use OpenGov in general. We will look at all of the features of OpenGov and all of the avenues that are possible to explore. Let's get started. We can access OpenGov by hovering over Government, going down to Budget and Finance, and clicking on Open Budget Data. This opens the OpenGov data portal. I will start with the Views section of this page and then move to the right side of the page and move left for the rest of the video. The Views section is nice because it acts as a frequently asked questions for questions you might have about our budget. Under Views, there are questions you can click on. For example, what is the dedicated sales tax supporting? When we click on this, we see that the dedicated sales tax goes to Public Works, Public Safety, Internal Accounts, General Government, and Community Services. The same goes for if we click on any of the other questions. The graph will change to address the question that we're interested in. On the far right side, there are icons that you can click to change the graphic format of the data. For example, I can click on a percentage graph, a stacked graph, a line graph, a pie graph, or a bar graph. I like to look at the data in a pie chart because it presents the budget one year at a time and allows me to think of the budget as different slices of a pie. Underneath the different graphic offerings, we have the names of the different categories of data. We can sort these names by A to Z, by chart of accounts, large to small, or small to large. For example, if we sort large to small, it will list the different categories of the budget from the largest slices of the pie to the smallest. Here, it shows us that public safety is the largest department and general government is the smallest in terms of the question, what is the dedicated sales tax supporting? We can click on the various names to get more information about them, or we can click on the pie chart itself. Now I'm going to reset the pie chart so that we're not just investigating that question, but looking at the budget overall. We can move to the middle of the page, which shows us the information we're looking for. As I said, you can click on the different parts of the chart to learn more information. You can also scroll through the timeline under the chart to see data for different years. If we look to the top left corner, we can click back or reset to undo some or all of our clicks. If you scroll down, it shows the information for all of the years available. This is a good place to go to look for budget totals. For example, the total budget for the 2022 original budget is $411,276,165. Now let's look to the left-hand panel of the page where there are a lot of options to choose from. First, annual expenditures and annual revenues show the actuals over the years. Actuals are the actual amounts spent and the actual amounts brought in, as opposed to the budget amounts. Now let's move to current year, which is a way to compare month by month or year by year spending. This shows us the amount that had been spent up until October for 2021 all the way back to 2010. The key to using the current year option is to look at the presentation in the bottom left corner of the screen. Let's click on monthly report options. The first drop-down menu lets us choose whether we would like to compare spending over months or years. For example, if we click month over month, we will see spending by month for the year 2021. The second drop-down menu allows us to change whether we are looking at spending for each month or cumulative spending over the months. Now that we've looked at the current year format, let's move to other operating expenses history. This shows the operating budgets for the departments listed on the right-hand side. Operating budgets do not include one-time expenses or personnel costs. It's the place to go to compare departmental budgets over time. Budget milestones shows the different versions of the current budget. Each year, the budget goes through multiple iterations before it is finalized, and this section of the budget will show the changes in the budget throughout the year, starting with the original budget, then the actual. Finally, annual budgets, which is the last listed on the left-hand panel, shows how much we budgeted for a year as opposed to how much we actually spent or gained in revenue. Below the report options, we have two drop-down screens that let us change the data we are looking at. The Show drop-down menu will change whether we are looking at expenses or revenues, and the Broken Down by drop-down menu allows us to change how we break down expenses or revenues by funds, departments, grants, capital project type, or expense type. The Filtered By menu allows us to look at specific funds, departments, grants, capital project types, or expense types. This menu is useful if you are looking for a specific department or fund because we can click on an option and then it will allow us to search for a department rather than arriving at it by clicking through the graph. For example, we can search for the fire department and click on it so that it takes us directly to the fire department data presentation. Now we have gone through all of the functions of the OpenGov portal. After watching, I hope you're equipped to use the portal to answer your questions about our budget.